Mr. Terry, welcome back to Terrific Terry Tuesday after Money Monday at Parx. We both hit that middle pick four, but then kind of got bombed out of the next couple ones. But hopefully today we can get more than one.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
We'll also try not to be boring today, too. Hopefully that we can some quick comments. The races are going to start. Yes, we're going to give some quick comments and all Ulu. One of the first quick comments we're going to make, however, I don't know how to pronounce this one, Terry, but today's free track over a guaranteed tip sheet tonight. Late Canadian, what are they in Edmonton, maybe somewhere in there?
Yeah, somewhere like that.
What's it called? Asanobia, is that right?
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
Let's go, guys. What kind of question do you got, Tuna Men? Fire away. Can I ask a favor? What is your favor? All right, ready, Terry, to get started?
Yeah, let's get going. They seem anxious, so
yeah, everybody's ready to go, man. Tick-tocking away. Kaisi, we got all sorts of things going on. All right, let's go. Wait, we love the comments, folks. Keep them coming. Keep us busy because the more comments we get, the better we go into the Google and YouTube algorithms and their rankings. So fire away with the comments, Terry. Fire away with the conditions.
Now we're going to start out with a 6 furlong race, $10,000 claiming race, purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since February 21st. Claiming races for $8,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
All right, real quick. Show early and late paces for races urgently. For race 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, I'll do that just for you as a favor. Race number 2. There you go. One horse hasn't run yet. Race 3. There you go. Race 4, keep an eye on that. Race 5, race 6, and race 7. Of course, we'll come back to every single one of them as we make our way across the card today. A 10-race card at 6 furlongs in race number 1, Terry. The sort of horse that typically gets the job done is one that has tactical speed 35% of the time. Get to the front, stay at the front, you get a winner. And maybe if you're 5-1 or not more, and Christopher D'Souza picked you, you get a kaboom on top of that. There's a real bonus for So Swell. And then everybody else plays pretty fair. 10,000 simulations, Terry. We want to try to get an edge on the field. We're looking for which horses have the best chance to get to the lead in our pace scenario over here. The higher the score, the better. C-zone. Based upon our projected pace, how likely these horses are to be in their comfort zone. In other words, mirror their best performances. Who doesn't love value, Terry? Everybody loves value, but how you define it in horse racing varies from person to person. For me, I'm just looking for odds where our simulation odds are lower than the post-time odds. And then based upon our 10,000 projected winning speed figures, which horses in here are likely to run a speed figure at par or better for this level? And according to Brisnet, that number is an 82 speed figure. Terry, sure does look like one of them that seeks the dream will seek the lead too.
That's right. There a lot of them have some kind of speed, but that 2 shows quite a bit more than anything else. Anything close is a 5. The 7 has an overlay from about almost 3-1 to 10-1. And the 8 has an overlay from about 5.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. 7, 2, and 8 show par numbers, and all but the 1 have C-zones.
And along with our trip notes, we do what's called trip handicapping, right? There's all kinds of different ways to look at a horse race. We try to look at it from every angle. In this case, we plot out where the horses have run their best races. The 4 and 5 have run their best on the lead. The 6 can pilot or co-pilot. Nobody is in the co-pilot alone position. 2, 7, and 8, those folks can be anywhere. They can be a pilot. They can be a co-pilot. They can be at the back of the plane, or they can be the stewardess. They're not stewardess. What are they called now, Terry? Flight attendants.
Flight attendants.
Yes. They can go anywhere on the plane. Closers, they are always in coach. They're the ones that try to sneak their way into first class. That's me trying to get up to where Terry's sitting. And then, of course, NCs are horses that have not been within 5 lengths of the leader within the last 10 races. And then the first-time starters, they would be here. At the beginning of this spot, Terry, it looks like Reiterate is the one that might be a little bit quickest out of the gates. So that's your speed horse of the speed. Seeking the Dream should be involved, too, as a PC type. So sit right behind the 5 and 4 and the 6, perhaps. And then late speed number goes to Expect to Be Ready, along with So Swell. Well, if this 4 can get to the lead, Terry does have the late speed to stay there. It is, in fact, one of our top total pace horses between the 4 and the 5. 6-point drop off to the next 2, the 8 and the 2. Statistically speaking, Terry, good shot that the winner is going to come for the 4 or the 5. And I don't even have the 4, but you have the 5 on top.
I do. I like the 5 reiterate. I think she's going to break out of there, but she's finished in the money 9 races out of the last 10 starts, running second versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, very competitive right now. Number 8, Old Head, my second choice, finished third versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. The 2 horse is my third choice, Seeking the Dream. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race, and she has a highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. I like that 4 horse as my long shot. Expect to Be Ready. She ran second versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer. Now, what we do is we bet $2 to win on our first choice, a $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 picks. And that's all I'm betting in this race.
I'm going to start with Seeking the Dream. That's what we're always doing around here, Seeking the Dream. We haven't found it yet, but we're looking. We're still looking. Does have the most back class, though. Yeah, that was that Penn. And Terry, you know I absolutely love the Penn to Park shippers. So you must be thinking I'm out of my mind putting that one on top here today. But it does have a win at Parx in 3 races. And in that win was by far superior to any other Parx effort for any other horse in this race. If Seeking the Dream can seek that class, this one won't be close. Old Head, that's you and me, Terry. We're a pair of old heads. Now, the resume says that the second start off the layoff might improve by 7 to 9 points on that speed figure. That would be meaning a peak number for this guy. If he ran a peak number, could win this as well. Reiterate, the 5 horse gets the third call. This one should be on the pace from gate to wire. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 7 horses, my long shot, Captivating Cara. If this one just repeats its last race, that would be more than enough probably to win. Going to catch a weight break in the third Parx race after coming in from the Naira circuit. So it's a delayed track dropper, Terry. Off to race 2 is what we're going to do. I'm going to have to come up with like a rhyme for every race. All right, go ahead. Race 2, what's cooking?
Well, we're going to go at 6 furlongs again. It's a maiden claiming race at $40,000 claiming price, $32,000 purse. It's for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
And again, at 6 furlongs, like we talked about in the opener, get some juice when the gates open. You get a chance to win. Maidens, really, you want them to be forward. More often than not, they win either off the lead or right on the lead. Tactical speed is the way, 35% wire to wire. There is a little bit of a rail bonus for Toutaloo Kangaroo. Everybody else, kind of fair, Terry. A lot of these horses making their second, third, fourth start. Some of them not. Some of them making are in their debut. So the data here not as significant. But from what we have so far, what do you see?
Well, there's 7 and 5 really is the only ones that have much speed according to the data. So they could go head to head to that quarter pole. And the overlay starts with that 1 where it's 4 to 1 to 6 to 1. And the 5 has an overlay from 4.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. And the 7 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 2 to 1. None of them show any kind of par plus numbers. And all but the 3 show some kind of C zone numbers, but they're all kind of low.
Yeah, so this race could be wide open, as many times they are for horses trying to find that first win. As we mentioned, the 1 horse in here, a Toutaloo, a Kangaroo, that one is making its first start. So really no idea what it's going to bring to the table. We do know the 5, 6, and 7 so far have not been within 5 lengths of the winner when the race was over. 2, 3, and 4, well, their interest was in closing. So get to the front here. You got a good shot. Chit Chat Club, the not close horse, a little bit quicker than See You at the Hop. That's Terry. That's your language right there. See You at the Hop.
That's right.
Indeed. And then Styled. So it looks like all the non-close ones so far, they're going to have all that early speed. So the task is going to be not to fade today for those. Of the closers, let's see who has the most late speed. Style to Follow. Well, that 6 horse not only going to be on the front, Terry, but does have some late speed along with Vanellope, the 3 horse. The closer should close. Big drop off after that, Terry. According to this, Style to Follow, this one should be about a 9-point total pace. That might be the one to beat, Terry. Maybe get a good price on that one. What do you say?
Well, could be, but I'm going to try to beat that horse with the number 7 horse, Chit Chat Chub. She ran second in her only start at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then number 6, Style to Follow. She ran second in her only start at Tampa Bay and has the highest last speed rating. See You at the Hop. The 5 is my third choice, ran third in her only start at Parx Racing. She has a trainer who wins 25% of the with horses he runs in first-time maiden claiming races. And then I'm going to play the 2, Should Have Been a Cowgirl as my long shot. She finished third in her last race, and Lasix Exotic. And I'm going to play the first Don Johnson Miami Vice, pick 4, 50 cent. I'm going to use the 2, 5, 6, 7 with the 1, 4, 5, 7 with the 4, 7 and finish up with the 2, 4, 10, $45 ticket.
Charles B., haven't seen thee in a while. Good to see you back, my friend. Peach T is one he says you can't sleep on in race number 2. Man, I've told you many times that my chubby blonde girlfriend, my yellow lab, Peach is her name. And anytime I see Peach pop up on a list, I want to put that horse in there. It is my very next pick. But for me, I'm going to go with the 1 horse, the first-time starter, Terry. I have this theory that, and I know Charles scolded me from before, but I have this theory that somewhere in a horse's training sessions, the trainers say, let's let it out and see what we got. And then after that, they kind of just try to keep the razor sharp. Back here on this April 11th, 4 furlong workout at Parx, breezing in 47-3, the third fastest of 21. If you go through Parx and you look at the workouts, really 48 is usually pretty good. Anything under 48 is pretty outstanding. So I'm going to call that a back bullet and go for the total kangaroo. And quite frankly, outside of the 7 and maybe the 6, I don't think there's a whole lot to beat in this affair. Chit Chat Chub, the 7 horse, making its second career start. Any improvement off the debut is probably more than enough to get the job done. It did lose to a horse that came back to win an allowance optional claiming race and then finished second in an allowance race. But the curious thing for me on the 7 horse, Terry, is that you fared well against a horse that won in the maiden special ranks. So why do you turn around and throw it into a maiden claiming race and not give it another shot at maiden special weight? That's a little bit of a red flag for me. Style to Follow, the 6 horse, comes in from Tampa. I think 2 weeks ago, Terry, I asked, is Tampa a track upgrade or a track downgrade? Well, the horse I asked about just absolutely dominated that race. So let's see if Style to Follow can build on that as well. And then See You at the Hop. That was Terry's pickup line back in the 1920s. Is that about right, Terry?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I'm over 100 years old. So
Are you?
no,
I missed it.
I'm 75.
All right. So anyway, this one did have a slow start in its last race. 4 furlong workout in 48. That's a pretty good workout again at Parx. I think that suggests to me that the trainer and the connections are going to send this horse out much quicker at the jump today. I'm going to put all 4 of my picks in my pick 4, and then 2 picks in the next, the 3 and the 7, then 4, 5, 7, and close it out with 4 as well. That's the way I'm looking at race number 2 and the first of the pick 4s. We have 2 minutes to race number 3, Terry. I know that we can get this done in 2 minutes. So let's rip through race number 3.
All right. So if we get started out here, we're going to go up to 1 mile and 70 yards. Maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, $26,000 purse for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes, and at $170, horses that get to the lead do great. 42% of the time they win on the lead. It's rail penalty for Humble Joe. 2 to 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7, they're pretty close to fair, so not a deal breaker there. 8 and out gets a bonus, Terry. So a little bit of inside speed, a little bit of outside speed. Looks like only 1 has speed.
That's true. Only the 2 show speed, and it's quite a bit of speed according to the data. 3 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 9 to 2, and the 4 has an overlay from about 4.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from almost 5 to 1 to 6 to 1. None of them show par plus numbers. 4, 1, 7, and 3 show the only C zones.
That's the 4 and the 1 being dominant on the C zones. Our race shape for race number 3. Again, 2 and 7, not involved at the end. 1 and 4, they really want to co-pilot. 3, 5 have been closers. When the gates open and they get rolling, why stop there is about a length and 3/4 quicker than Rum Tum Tugger. And then at the end of the race, looks like plenty of them will be chasing them down at the end. Sheer Dominance being the most dominant late, although could be pretty far off the screen when the race gets started. The 4 and the 5 are your top total pace horses, just a few points clear. It looks like the only one in here that doesn't fit, Terry, is the 7. So I'm guessing that's your top pick.
Yeah, I like the 4, Sheer Dominance. He finished third versus similar in his last race. Has a trainer wins 19% of the times with the horse. He runs a maiden claiming races. Rum Tum Tugger, the 7's my second choice, switches to a high percentage winning trainer, wins 32% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and he has a good workout on May 10th. 5 Whoosh is my third choice, ran second versus similar in his last race, has best start speed, is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with another. Then Humble Joe, the 1, is my long shot. He drops in class today, best start speed, is fast among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me in here.
So real quick, I'm going to go with the 3-horse Celestial Joe, that guy, Joy. Only pure maiden special weight dropper and track dropping from the fairgrounds. I'm not quite sure why the odds are so high. Rum Tum Tiger, as you mentioned, Jamie Ness, first off the claim, 32% win for that guy. Alpha Angle for the king of Parx. And this one's dropping in from class and from Turfway Park. Sheer Dominance, the 4-horse. Terry, love to put that one on top. He's ran at Parx 5 times, finished third 4 times. So there's only one other place to put him. That's third, although he does have the most late speed. So a little extra distance today could work to its advantage. And then the 2, why stop there? He's on the other end of the spectrum. Might be too fast for all of these at the get-go. And if they can't catch it, because he has potential upside as the most lightly raced horse in the field, he could go all the way. $2 exact, the key box for me with that fairgrounds only maiden special weight dropper over the 1, 2, 4, and 7. Let's talk about race number 1, Terry. They're about to get cooking. And in race number 1 right now, the 8-horse, our second pick, Old Head, is your current favorite at 2 to 1. The next horse up in there is the 2-horse, Seeking the Dream, the speedster. That one is second choice. Yesterday, speed held pretty well. So let's see if indeed that is the case again today. And then next up on the list for the odds, it looks like it is the 5-horse in there. Reiterate. We got a whole bunch of them. 6 to 1 on the 6-horse. Let's see which one offers the most value, Terry. Well, the 2 is right on target. Well, we're not going to get a chance to see that. And maybe the 7-horse. That's the one that offers the most value at 10 to 1. We have it at close to 3 to 1. So if you're looking for just a $2 value win bet, that would be the place to consider. But right now, as the race gets cooking, got a whole bunch of them competing for the lead. Although the 4-horse right now, Expect to Be Ready, is the one that is setting the tone. The 2-horse has decided he's had enough of that. He's gone to the front at 3 to 1. Then behind them, you have the 6-horse, Fairy Dreams. To the outside of the 6 horses, that's 7, going to get a wide trip all the way around the track. They went through the opening quarter in 22.3 seconds. If you're back into 2, you would have liked it to be a little bit slower, but I think that fast for Parx. Again, speed holding up yesterday. The 4 is trying to keep up with the 2, but the jockey hasn't asked the 2 to do a damn thing as of yet. 6-horse is going to try to go 3 wide around the turn. Don't know if he's going to get that. The jockey's asking for something from the 4. It's not going to get it just yet. Right now, the 2-horses jockey's trying to get his horse to get going again. The 6-horse is coming. And then on the outside, we got the 1-horse. The question is, Terry, well, neither one of us has the 6. Neither one of us has the 1. So the only option here is the 2-horse to come home as the winner. I don't think that's going to happen unless he finds a second gear at the end here. Ain't going to happen. Going to go 6, 2, 1, 4. 6, 2, 1, and 4. Fairy Dreams is your opening winner. Let's go back and see, Terry, what we missed on Fairy Dreams.
All right.
Well, he wasn't up in here. Did look like he'd be part of the early pace. He was the lone EP horse in the race, so that would be something to kind of look at in there. in race number 1, the 6-horse, Fairy Dreams. He did, I did have him marked as a horse that could hit par. He ran at the same level this time out. Didn't show really much improvement. Ran a similar race. Got a little bit of a weight break here, but he had the weight break in the last race. Pretty successful at Parx.
Yep.
In the money, 5 out of 8. The distance looked proper. Right there you go. 6 out of 7. So very playable. Just didn't happen. The 2-horse just missing. Coming in second place is my top choice, which means, Terry, we got 9 races. We got 1 loser out of the way. We're going to get more winners now.
That's right.
Off to race number 4 is our next destination. Hopefully we can find the winner circle in this one, Terry. To find the winner circle, how do you qualify?
Well, it's a 6.5 furlong event, and it's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there and possibly be claimed. First was $28,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have started for $25,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $25,000, which have never have won 2 races.
So by adding a half a furlong, you still have horses that need some speed relative to the first 2. Stalkers do good 26% of the time. Gate to wire is the way to the winner circle. A real bonus for Private Cabana. 2 and 3 play under par. 4 through 7 fair. 8 and out is a penalty. So the best place to be is where Private Cabana is, and the Private Cabana is always a good place to be, Terry.
It is.
Who's going to get the lead in this spot?
Well, it appears that the 7 probably would, but the 5 and the 4 may have something to say.
You totally missed that one, Terry.
What's that?
Look at the name of the 7-horse.
Who knows?
Who's going to get the lead on this one?
Yeah, who knows?
There you go.
Yeah, but anyway, the 4 has an overlay from, oh boy, what's that like?
That's just like it's guaranteed to win money, right?
Yeah, to 3-1, and then the 4 also shows the best par numbers, or the only par numbers, and then all of them show C zones, although the 4 and the 5 are a little bit low.
Yeah, so just to give you a reminder on the par plus number, according to our 10,000 simulations, 1 in 3 chance basically for Tatum to run a speed figure at 82 or better. According to Brisnet, that's the average winning speed number at this level. And of course, there's no such thing as a guarantee of a horse winning in horse racing. No such thing. And really pretty much any risk affair. The 4 and 5 want to be on the lead. Everybody else wants to give chase. So this isn't a forwardly placed race. So either be the speed of the speed or be mid-pack with the most late legs. You got 3 of them who really want to burn it up, 4, 5, and 7. So they got to be really careful not to burn each other. If they do, that'll open the door for Rumaway. And that one has the most late speed, but that's probably going to be 3 lengths, 4 lengths off the lead, Terry. They're going to have to go really fast for that one to make up all that ground at the end. And then your top total pace horse, 11 points clear of the next closest group, is Tatum. So that looks like that should be your winner, Terry. And that's where we both start. In fact, we start with the same 3.
Yeah, we like the Tatum horse. He's ran second versus similar. His last race has a high percentage winning jockey. The 7, who knows? He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Burn the Evidence, my third choice of the 5 horse, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and his best start speed is fast among today's starters. The 2, Travel Guide, is my long shot. He finished third versus similar in his last race, has a trainer who wins 17% of the races when taking a horse from a route to a sprint. And I'm going to play my second, Don Johnson, Miami Vice, pick 4. I'm going to use the 4-5-7 with the 1-2-4-7-10 with the 4-5 and finish up with the 6-7-8. That's a $45 ticket.
I also start with the 4 horse. That one is Tatum. Maybe we probably should have both singled this one in our pick 4s, maybe, Terry. It does have a plus 11 top total pace score. That's usually enough to win. But as Tom said in last week's show, slow odds, second place. This one did run 6.5 furlongs last time at the same fractions that it did in the prior start at 6 furlongs. At Parx, the horse does hang too. 14 times out of win, 7 seconds and 2/3. So in the money, 10 out of 14. Good chance to finish in the money. Slight chance to win according to its Parx record. Who knows? This 7 horse, that one has a strong chance to be on the lead, Terry, and has one of the highest C zones. That's a winning combination more often than not. Number 5, Burn the Evidence. You can get away with that, I guess, if you're a politician, just not as a regular person. This one did improve its early pace last time out through the first half mile. If you're new, Craig Milkowski from Timeform USA let us know that from their research, improvement in the first half mile is almost always an indication of a horse that's coming to form. Keep an eye out on the horse next time out. And that's why we have our eye on Burn the Evidence. And if it can run back just 2 races, easy winner today. Finally, number 6, where Terry and I differ, Jackson Road. This one's making a sneaky class drop. Terry does have some decent workouts preparing for the first race since last November. And we know that this horse is going to run the angriest of all horses in the field, Terry, because he's first time snipped. So he ain't going to want nothing else cut off. He better perform today. Here's my pick 4, 4, 5, 7 over to 2, 4, 10. Over the 4, 5, 7, over to 3, 6, 8. These next series of races I thought were pretty open, so I wanted to have coverage in a little bit of everything, right? Don't Pass the Princess. Yeah, that was at $11. That was in that last race number 10. But you left before then because we were boring you, so that pick didn't count. All right. Race number 5 is next. Terry, share with us the what they're not doing.
Well, I think it's 1 mile and 70 yards, and I think they're off the turf, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah, they were supposed to be on the turf early on in the day. The turf was listed as firm too, so maybe it's maybe the course is a little slick. I don't know.
Yeah, so they've taken it off the turf, but it's a optional claiming race, $40,000 claiming price, and then the $34,000 purse for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $40,000 or less, which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $40,000, and which have never won 2 races.
So $170 on the dirt. We got some information on that. There was no information at $170 on the turf, so maybe a little benefit to that. Early speed, 42% of the time. That speed is the speed to speed. It gets to the front, stays on the front, and takes a photo after saying cheese. The rail does get a little bit of a penalty, so Tabor time might struggle to live up to those 4-1 odds. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 almost fair, so no deal killers there. 8 and out get a bonus. So really looks like the only place where you have something to overcome is on the rail. Tabor time. Terry, tell us a little bit about the data and what all of our simulations say.
Okay, well, as you can see, there's a lot of scratches, but what's left there, that 5 shows the most speed of all of them. And then the 5, the 2, and then the 5 has the overlay from 7 to 5 to 6 to 1. 10, 5, and 4 are the only par plus numbers, and all of them but the 7 have a decent or have some CISO.
Now, the strongest ones are Love to Eat, so Love to Eat on the lead. So it might Love to Eat on the lead today. Then you have also a very strong par plus horse in here at Mary Chill with the 5. And then, of course, the 11. Grace Reformed, a little bit of a chance at a par plus score on that. Our race shape in this reduced field. Terry, we've seen these before. Lone Ease, get to the lead, look out. Everybody else really wants to close. But we do see here we get the left arrow horse in Love to Eat. This is a closer typically when he runs his best. Today, its early pace should put him in contention right from the get-go. Won't forget what it means to close. At the end of the race, however, it does look like Southampton Dock. That closer will indeed be closing and probably going to try to come all the way from the back of the pack according to early pace to the front. So from a worst to first effort, maybe on deck for Southampton Dock. Also scores out as one of the top 2 total pace horses with Mary Chill, along with Nature's Candy. Grace Reform, those 4 are 10 points clear, the 2 or the 7. Maybe X those 2 out and just stick with those top 4, Terry. I don't think I did that, and I don't think you did either.
No, I like the 10, though. Southampton Dock ran second versus similar on an all-weather track in her last race. So it's good it's on the dirt and has the best turf. Doesn't matter about that. And Nature's Candy is my second choice 4. She ran second versus similar on the dirt in her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Love to Eat is the 2, and she finished third versus similar on the dirt also in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 29% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. Wild Girl, the 7 is my long shot, won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets in here for me.
Oh, Race Masters, we take no offense, my man. Yesterday, I'm just busting your chops about the. Sorry to hear about the sleep apnea. I know. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling my best either. In the middle of the show, I just started heating up, like, oh my god, I'm going to get sick. And we had a high humidity day here in Chicago yesterday. It just messes with my sinuses and a ton of pressure on my head. So it's time to move to the desert or something, Terry. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I have sleep apnea too, and I've had it for like over 35 years, and I've got a CPAP machine, which I use every single night, and it made such a big difference. So, Race Master, if you don't have that, go in for a sleep study and see if you can get one because it really, really helped me.
And he's still cranky with the CPAP. All right. I'm going to go with the 10 horse, but reluctantly, Terry. Southampton Doc does have the class, Terry, to win this, the most back class, especially with all the scratches. My question is the surface. You mentioned that he ran on all weather. He has run on the dirt twice. They were both off tracks, didn't perform on that. So we'll see if the all weather can convert to fast track. I think that's why they wanted to put him on turf. But probably feels against the rest of this field, has enough class to hold him off. If not, Love to Eat. Maybe too much early speed for this crew in here, Terry. Frankie Pennington stays on this horse instead of the 5 horse Mary Chill, who he rode in the last 5 races. Now, normally I feel like I'm reading too much into this, but if a guy's been riding both horses, I have to suspect he picks the one he thinks is going to win in this one. Number 4, Nature's Candy is my third choice. Maybe the most upside. It's the horse has only run 2 times before. Going to be forward in the short field. That usually works out. But I'm not sure how well the first route race is going to go. Sometimes get to the front, go long for the first time. You forget you're not running 6 furlongs. And then Mary Chill, the 5 horse. This one is our simulation favorite, Terry. 4 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. That's a win angle from our friend Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper, and also one that showed some improvement through the first half mile of its last outing. Next outing for us, race number 6.
All right. And we're going to go back down to 5.5 furlongs. It's another optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there for that. And then the purse is $26,000. It's for fillies, 3-year-olds, which have started for $25,000 or less and which have never won 2 races or a claiming price of $25,000 and never have won 2 races or a claiming price of $25,000 for 3-year-olds.
You got all that in now?
I did.
All right. 5.5 furlongs. One of these sprints in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. That belongs to horses that have early speed, as you can probably imagine. Almost half of them win wire to wire. There is an outside to inside bias, surprisingly. Usually you think in these short sprints, you get to that turn first, you got the W, and that should give the inside horses the advantage. But no, the farther you are from the rail, the better off you are. So if you're a Buffalo girl with some Buffalo speed, I don't know, Buffaloes probably aren't all that fast, Terry, but this looks like it's a race where pretty much, there's a whole, all but maybe 1 or 2 can get to the front.
Yeah, that's true. Although the 5 shows the most, but the 4, 8, and 2 may have something to say about who gets to that quarter pole first. 2 has an overlay from 3.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from about 8 5 to 4 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 9 to 2. The 8 has an overlay from 8 to 1 to 12 to 1, and then the 4, 7, and 2 show the only par plus numbers. All of them show C zones, although a couple of them are pretty low.
Yeah, you got a bunch of dark green ones in there. So a lot of horses should find themselves very comfortable with the way race 6 takes place. A balanced race 2, 3 on the front, 2 in the middle, 3 in the back. That is one of those old Wendy's "Where's the beef" type race shapes. Remember that commercials, Terry? That old lady?
Yeah.
Where's the beef? All right. Is that the same lady who fell and couldn't get up? I'm curious.
I don't remember.
So early, you remember that commercial too, or no?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, falling and I can't get up.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to stagger their way down here, Terry. So again, most of them can get to the front. Diane's Merlot, the one that's got a good shot to get to the front, although burning embers to its inside probably keep it to task as the race gets started so they don't let him clear too easily. Balatin, that one will be coming the hardest at the end with Nabeline and Duella Dent. We're really tongue twisters on that trio right there. I can't imagine Jessica Paquette's going to want to see those come 1, 2, 3 down the stretch in a tight race. Looking at the top total pace horse there, we got 4 that are clearly a step above the other 4. 70% of the time, or more than that, about 72, 73% of the time, the top 4, that group produces the winner. Terry, we both have settled on the 4 as our top choice.
That's right. And that's my pick of the day at Parx Racing for Diane's Merlot. She finished third versus similar her last race as a favorite, but she has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 33% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And she has the best start speed among today's starters. Then Duella Dent. Number 5, she's my second choice. Won her last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And that combination in the last 14 days have won 50% of their starts. In other words, 6 out of 12 starts with a second and 2/3.
You sure that's 50?
What's that?
Are you sure that's 50?
Well, 50%. Oh, yeah, 50% of the starts they've won.
Yeah, I'm just getting you. I'm just testing you, Terry.
All right.
Got to keep you on your toes today.
Well, you kind of threw me off track there, but that's all right. Number 6, Jody's Ruby is the third choice, drops in class today. Early speed running style will help her chances, so she should improve at the shorter distance today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Burning Embers, the 2 is my long shot. She has won 2 out of 5 starts at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $6 to win and $10 to place on Diane's Merlot, the number 4 horse.
And that's Terry's pick of the day, the POD. I also like Terry's pick of the day, so that's got to make him a little bit uncomfortable. So he probably finishes second now. But Diane's Merlot, I think this one's probably going to set the tone here. Last time out, the horse held its speed deeper into the race. So cutting back from 6 furlongs to 5.5 furlongs could be a difference maker for Diane's Merlot. Number 7, Ballatini. Ballantine. All right, the 7 horse Ballantine. We'll go with that. Much better fractions in the last time out, and it improved all of its internal pace numbers from go all the way to when they took the photo. Duella Dent, the 5 horse. As I'm taking on the Jessica Paquette challenge with these horses in here. This one is making its first start at Parx. This one is running for Jamie Ness and Michael Sanchez. That combination has been dynamite. Anybody with Jamie Ness really wins it a lot. This one's coming in from Laurel and Pimlico. What do they run? 2 weeks at Pimlico and then another 2 weeks in September and they're done. So basically run the Preakness and then a couple of months later, run a few more races and call it a season.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I've read that they're going to put some work and money into that track. So maybe you'll see more races there going forward. And then finally, my long shot in here, Terry, is the 1 horse, Namora. This one is dropping from a $100,000 graded stakes race. Makes me wonder why this horse is in for a price, though, today. Again, when you're looking at the maiden claiming races, the optional claiming or any claiming race that where there's an option to claim, $25,000 after running in a $100,000 stakes race. Makes me wonder why they're doing that. And then on top of that, they throw a bullet workout in here on May the 6th. That's all kind of conflicting messages to me in some sense. Horse can put in a bullet workout. So if we can run to that bullet, runs to what they thought it was in the $100,000 non-graded stakes race, can win for sure. But do you feel like, Terry, maybe they put that bullet in to trick people to maybe come buy the horse?
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. But just in case, I'll put it at the bottom of my list of top 4 picks. Into race number 7, we go for the beginning of the late Don Johnson pick 4. This one is in the air tonight, I guess, Terry. What are the conditions?
It's a 6 furlong race. It's a maiden $40,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens, 3-year-olds.
Yes, Penn's Woods. That's what Pennsylvania means. Did you know that, Terry? I learned that in like school because I grew up in Pennsylvania, and every kid in Pennsylvania had to know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Penn's Woods. All right, 6 furlongs. As we talked about, speed is what does matter. 35%, so a touch more than 1 out of 3 goes wire to wire in the 7th spot here today. Terry, there's a real bonus for Standpoint, but I think that one's scratched if I remember correctly. And then everything else plays pretty fair. So really no deal makers or breakers at the most common distance. Run at most tracks, but particularly at Parx. So show me some early speed in race number 7, Terry. Well, 35% of the time you get to lead, you get a chance to win. That one does have a 35%, so there's got to be some numerology in that.
He does, but the 7 also shows quite a bit of speed, so it could be head-to-head all the way to that quarter pole. And then the 2 shows an overlay of almost 9-1 to 10-1, and the 8 shows an overlay of 2-1 to 8-1. Pretty nice overlay. 8 and 6 have the only par plus numbers, and all but the 6 show some kind of C zones, although there's a couple of them that are pretty low.
Yeah, the 3 and the 8, 3 and the 7, Fuego SOS, hot emergency. I don't know. So you got the 3 and the 7. They want to be up front. The 5, 6, and 8 want to close. The 2 horse, My Boy Tuillo, is going to make the first go at it. It's a pretty short field, so many times you get to the front, you have a good shot to stay there. Fuego SOS, that one could be on the front. Freedom Eagle going to give it a go, but they're all within 4 points of each other, minus Lost and Confused, which looks like that's how that horse is going to run when the gates open. At the end, it won't be so confused because it'll be coming as fast as Star-Lord at the end of the race. Now, finally, your top total pace horse. Again, some of these horses making 2nd, 3rd, 5th starts in there, so the numbers aren't as firm. But if they are anything to be predictive, Star-Lord is about 2 lengths better than everybody else in this race, Terry, and you have that on top to follow through on that.
I do. I like the 8 Star-Lord. He finished 2nd in his only start by closing. So the additional distance will be a plus, I think, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 6 Lost and Confused is my second choice, ran 2nd versus Tougher in his last race. Drops in class today, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And this combination, the last 14 days, has won, as I said before, has won 6 out of 12 starts. Fuego SOS or SOS?
Yeah, Fuego.
Yeah.
Fuego. Hot
Fuego,
SOS.
yeah. The 7 ran 2nd versus Similar in his last race, has a high percentage trainer and jockey. My third choice. My long shot is the 3 Freedom Eagle. And he ran 2nd versus Similar in his last race. His best start speed is fast as Monk today starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And this is the last Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4. And I think this race is pretty wide open. So I'm going to use the 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
I got a feeling that that's not right, Terry. I think you probably meant 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, because
you're right.
You have the 3 in your picks, but not the 2.
Yeah, you're right. It's the 3.
All right. So I wanted to make sure we got that right.
Thank you.
Oh,
and then,
because now you know, of course, the 2 horse is going to win, right?
Yeah, probably. So I wanted the 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. With the 1, 2, 4, 5, I'm going to single the 3.
Well, you know what? You don't need the 1. You can make that the 2, Terry, because the 1's not in this race. So how about that? I'm helping you across the board. You basically went all. That's what you did.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, basically. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I don't think you missed anything. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, right?
Yeah.
2, 3, 5. Yeah. So we're going to put all in there. That way there's no confusion.
All right. And then next leg is 1, 2, 4, 5 with the single in the 3 and the third leg, and then 2, 3, 7, 9, $48 ticket.
Yeah, I posted your picks in here. There you go. I posted them a little while ago. When you put them up in there, I put them in there. And let's see. I'm going to go with the 6 horse Terry in there. Lost and Confused because, you know, I always like to pick horses that are named after me, except when they run in the Kentucky Derby and win an 80-1. But this one's dropping from a pair of non-graded stakes races. Been off since September. It's getting first-time Lasix as a 3-year-old. Again, that angle works out pretty well because 2-year-olds can't get the Lasix. 3-year-olds do. This one can get up towards the front. Maybe has a good shot for that Lasix to carry it on home. So my reasoning for this next one, Terry, I think is off the charts, impeccable. There's no way around this logic. in the movie Guardians, in the movie series Guardians of the Galaxy was by far the best of the Marvel series. At least that's my opinion, but I think that's fact.
Very good.
The second of the Guardian of the Galaxy's movies was, I think, the best of the three, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Star-Lord was the star of him and Gamora, right? Were the stars of Guardians of the Galaxy. So this one's making its second start in its career. So if the second Guardian of the Galaxy movie was the best and Star-Lord is the star, then guess what? Star-Lord will be the star today. How do you like that?
That's good.
Great handicapping. Number 3, Freedom Eagle. That's my third choice for me, Terry. Just missed at this level last time out. Cut back from 1 mile and 70 yards is the distance maker today, difference maker at the distance. And finally, Fuego SOS. This one's going to be potentially better in the third start after a layoff. She's improved in every start, the 2 after her debut, and has by far the most late speed today. So if the race does have a speed meltdown, which I don't think is going to happen, could close in on these. I'm going to go with all 4 of mine. I feel like this race is open too. I'm going to go 4 by 3 by 2 by 4 to close out my late pick 4. I think they're about to get cooking in race number 2, Terry. So let's see what's cooking here. Yeah, they're actually more than cooking. They're actually running. And right now on the lead is the first-time starter, Toodaloo Kangaroo. Terry, they go through the opening quarter in 22.1 seconds. You have the 5-horse down on the rail there. And then the 1-horse just went up the track a little bit. So that's going to open up the inside for the 5-horse who's going to run. Maybe not. We'll see. The 1-horse is battling back a little bit after going up the track. So that horse is probably going to have to be by far the best horse in this race to hold off after kind of going up the track a little bit. The jockey was able to get it to steady. Does look like right now the 5-horse is trying to go wide. The 1-horse, you got the 6-horse coming down on the rail. This looks like it's going to go 1. The 5 is commentary. Is he going to get there at the wire? 5-1. So the 5 did get there. So that saved your pick 4, Terry. The 1 finished second. I think it went 6-7. So I have the superfecta, but not the trifecta. And the 5-horse, See You at the Hop, went off at 5-1. So pretty good for both of us. In that
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was the longest shot on the board. So
you're going to want to watch that 1-horse for the next race. So.
Yeah, because I think if he doesn't have to steady coming out of the turn, he probably does win the race, because I think he cost himself at least the nose that he lost by.
Yeah, I think more than that, maybe 2-3 lengths. So.
Yeah, so 5-1. It looks like 7-6, 5-1, 7-6. And that should be a decent superfecta. I mean, for $2.40, I would think that you would at least get $10 back.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, so you quadruple your money. I will take that. All right, so we got race number 8 to go now, Terry, right?
That's right. Race 8 is our next one up. So let's take a look at that race and see that we're going to stretch out again to 1 mile 70 yards. It's an allowance race, $25,000, $32,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than maiden or claiming, or which have never won 4 races.
And in 1 mile and 70 yards, again, the type of horse that usually wins, has speed. In fact, a little more than 4 out of 10, 40 out of 100, 400 out of 1,000. They get to the front and they never relinquish the lead. A little bit of a rail penalty for winged foot. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 almost fair. 8 and out do get a bonus. So if you got on the outside, Terry, in race number 8, and you have a little bit of speed, it could work out for you. But the appropriately named horse is the one that looks like it's going to be on the lead.
That's right. That 2-horse has the most speed, so it's that inside horse. The 2 also has an overlay from almost 3-1 to 5-1, and the 4 shows an overlay from even money to 3-1. The 4 and the 2 have the only par plus numbers, and all but the 3 show good C zones.
Yes. Again, par plus meaning that horse, in this case, in our 10,000 simulations, about a 12% chance and a 13% chance for Jewels in the Bay. According to Brisnet, the speed figure that's average for the winner at these conditions is 91. So those 2 with small chances to get above that number. C-Zone also measures how likely they are to find themselves running a race that mirrors their best performances. Our race shape tells us the 2 and 4 can co-pilot. So really Nobody's lead dependent. The one horse, that's a PC type, so that one has a lot of versatility too. 3, 5, 6, and 7. I got to imagine in this scenario, Terry, you're looking at it as a trainer. You're saying to yourself, really nobody is lead dependent. Somebody's going to send their horse to see if maybe they can get to the front at decent fractions and steal this one. Ferrari Kid, the most likely candidate to get that done, although Jules in the Bay, about a length slower. So Ferrari Kid really could control the pace early on. And if he can do so at reasonable fractions, has that chance to add to the 40% wire-to-wire ratio. Jules in the Bay not only rides shotgun in this case, but also has the most late speed by about a length and a quarter. So Jules in the Bay, if pace makes the race, according to our friend Chris Parmalu, sits shotgun as they come down the corner, turns on the jets, wins this race with a top total pace of 6 points above the speed horse. That means it should win by about a length and a quarter, Terry. These four, again, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 6, more than a length better than the remainder of the field. 2, 3, 4, 6. Well, we have most of those horses, but you got a couple of other ideas too.
Yeah, I do. I like the 2 as my top pick for our kid. He ran second versus similar in his last race. He's trained by a high percentage winning trainer, Scott Lake, and he's ridden by high percentage winning jockey, Frankie Pendleton, and he can handle the distance, this horse. Wingfoot, the 1, is my second choice. He drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days have won 8 out of 24 starts with a second and 2/3. Has a good workout on May 14th. Jules in the Bay, the 4 is my third choice. Likes Parx Racing. She's been in the money 54% of the time, and he's won 33% of the races. The distance won't cause any problems as he's finishing the money 50% of the time. And then the 5, Cupid's Dude's my long shot. He comes in from Tampa Bay to try Parx Racing and switches to high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me as I'm out of money.
So just the 5 horse paid $12.60. It was the highest paying horse. Great way for both of us to start our pick 4s. If you put the 1 in there, that exacta paid $34.60. If you put the 7 in that group, the trifecta for 50 cents, a nice one. That one paid $71.65. That's worthy. And then that 10-cent superfecta, Terry, paid $30.42. So you more than 10 times your money. It's a good way to go. We love that.
You could have made a $24 bet if you boxed those for $1 and got $304.20.
And then you could have taken your what would you say, your better half to a nice lunch or dinner today and pocketed the rest. Do whatever you want with the money, and you'd still get nothing but love in return. So real quick, race number 3, just give you our selections here so that you can see. Race number 3, there you go. Plutaraco Ruiz. There's race number 3. I like the 3 horse in here. Terry doesn't have it, so we have a lot of disagreement in this spot. For me, in race number 8, we do have some disagreement again, just maybe a little different order. I have the 4 horse Jules in the Bay as my top selection. It is the simulation favorite in there, Terry. Regressed in its last race. That's a bit of a concern for me. And the horse does have a history, though, of rebounding after regression and does have a very strong workout sense. So I think you'll see that pattern continue today. Ferrari Kid, Terry's top choice, my second choice. That one is going to be towards the lead. It did find a new level last time out. So a peak speed figure. A small cutback in distance could help. I do concern myself sometimes with peak speed figures because 50-50 if they hold it or they regress. Cupid's Dude, the 5 horse, my third choice, Terry's long shot. This one is the Florida Invader. Ran all of its races so far at either Tampa or Gulfstream Park. Going to be closing at the end, Terry. And who's going to ride?
Oh, probably Paco.
And then finally, number 6, Caught and Collected. That's my final choice. And here, 3 very small incremental speed figure increases in a row. And all of the race internals, again, from the beginning to the end, were better in the last start. 2 more to go, Terry. That means we're going to go to race number 9 to begin the late daily double. What are the conditions for this one?
Well, we're going to stretch out to 1 mile and 70 yards, and we're going to do another allowance race, $25,000 at first, 32,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of 25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming, or which have never won 4 races.
Is this race number 9?
Yep.
All right. I see race number 9 being at 1 mile, and at 1 mile,
I'm sorry, did I go to the wrong race?
well, maybe race number 8. That's okay. We're
No,
so
no,
good we wanted to do it twice, but
it's 1 mile.
1 mile, yeah.
Optional claiming, 40,000. First 52,000, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races other than a maiden, claiming starter, or state bred, and which have never won 3 races or a claiming price of 40,000.
Yeah, and at 1 mile, what you're looking for is a bunch of early speed. Again, a bunch go wire to wire. You do have 42%, same sort of layout as a $170. The rail, a little penalty, 2 and 3, a bonus, 4 through 7, almost fair. I really no deal killers, anything that really gives one horse an advantage over the other. In terms of our simulations, Terry, in race number 9, it does look like we have one that's going to get on the lead. It could be difficult according to the simulations to catch.
Yeah, that 3 shows the most speed, but the 2 and 4 may have something to say about it. They show some kind of speed. The 3 also has an overlay from like 1 to 5 to like 6 to 5. And the 3, 1, and 2 show the only par plus, especially the 3. All of them show some kind of C-zone numbers.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the Green Go here, right? Green Go horse, we call these top C-zone score, tied for it, top chance to be on the lead. 82% chance to run a speed figure in this race, according to our simulations, of at least 90, which is the average winning speed figure, and a huge overlay. Basically, anything over 1 to 5 would be considered a value, according to our simulations. I don't know if anybody considers 1 to 5 a value, but if you're getting more money than you should, it is a value. Race number 9, our race shape shows that 3 of them want to be forward, 2 of them on the lead. You got a couple of horses in here. The 1 horse particularly, the 2 horse being a EP type. So it has some flexibility that the 1 doesn't have as the 2 Sesame Street horses. The 4 and 5 go too fast. The 2 can be patient. If they go too slow, can say enough of your silly business. I'm going to take charge. You could see that works out as well in the early pace numbers. Although the 3 horse, respectfully, that is your PC type. That's a left arrow horse. Again, another one that can afford to be patient. I wouldn't be surprised if these 2 let some of these horses, maybe the 4 or the 6, take the lead and then try to come on at the end. Respectfully, does have the most late speed, has some of the most early speed. The old saying, you can't pass what you can't catch, Terry. It is 16 points clear of turn on the charm in terms of top total pace. Game stocks, the only one that doesn't look like it compete for second or third. So it's the 3 horse and everybody else, Terry. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I like the 3s respectfully. That's why I singled it on my pick 4. She finished in the money in 7 out of the last 10 starts, winning 4 of those races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Dancing on My Own, the 4 is my second choice, won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Gold Medal Anna, the 1 is my third choice, finished third in her last race. The Rail Pulse is winning 24% clip, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Turn on the Charm, the 2 is my long shot. She has won 2 out of her last 3 races. Her best dirt speed is faster than the average winning speed. And so no more money for me, so I can't bet.
All right. I'm going to have the 3 horse respectfully as one that's probably going to find the winner circle too. It's that left arrow horse, has all that top total pace, showed a lot more early speed in its last race, typically has the most late speed too. So can't pass what you can't catch. I think that's what we'll see today, unless it is low odds second place. Dancing on My Own, the 4 horse, that one, Terry, won its last race by 12 lengths. And what was more impressive than that is it actually ran 3 seconds faster than it did in its prior start. I don't know what woke that horse up. Number 6, Mary Q. Most competitive when Mary Q is close to the lead. I suspect she'll be pretty close to the lead today, probably sitting 3rd or 4th. And then finally Turn on the Charm. The 2 horse will take the longest shot on the board right there. Tough call over to 1. And Paco, who's riding the 1 horse. But I think the 2 horse is going to be more likely to be forward, may not be the quickest to pace today, and maybe has a chance to hold off Gold Medal Anna at the end for the Superfecta. Last race of the day for you and me at Parx, last race of the week for you and I at Parx, Terry. That means tomorrow we're going to do Delaware Park. On Thursday, I think we've decided to do Churchill Downs, even though it's late in the day. So we'll put all of our Churchill Down picks out there. Let them marinate until the first post time, which is at 5, right, on Thursday?
Yeah, it's 5 Eastern time and 2 o'clock on California time. So
yeah, so we'll go about our business as we do, usually around 12 o'clock my time. So we'll take care of that. Friday, I don't know what Tom and I are going to do on Foreign Friday, but I know what everybody watching is about to do right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to hit the subscribe button. Then you're also going to hit the bell and the share button to share our content. If you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is that you participate, make sure you follow us there and then share our content across all your social sites as well. It's an awesome way to help the show grow. We'd appreciate it because our goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers, because that unlocks a whole lot of new tools on YouTube, and maybe we might all get 50 cents a day for our efforts, which would be 50 cents more than we get today. All right. Race number 10, Terry, is the final race on the card at Parx.
Yep.
What are they running for this time?
It's a 6 furlong race. It's an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, $25,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less and which have never won 2 races, or any race claiming price of $16,000, which have never won 2 races.
So Jose Miguel Perez Cruz says, in the 6th race, take the 5 horse, because that horse is going to come home second. So just do like a all over that horse for your exactas, and then your trifecta all over the 5 horse overall for your trifecta. At 6 furlongs, we've talked about it a few times, fast, 35% of the time win on the lead. Rail bonus for Villanito, and then everything else out is pretty fair. So the only horse with a little bit of an edge is that rail horse, Terry. Does the rail horse have any edge when the gates open? Not really.
No, not really. It's more like the 4 and the 3 who have the most speed here, and then the 3 has the overlay of about 2 to 5 to 7 to 2. 3, 2, 6, and 7 have the only par plus numbers, and all but the 5 show some kind of C zones.
I don't know what I just deleted that for. It must be meaningless in some respect, but yeah, you're looking here. This one, a little bit of a green go, Chasing Stardom, Terry. That's your top pick. You got green, light green, dark green, and then the big overlay about 1 to 2 versus that 7 to 2 morning line. They just put the wrong number over that 2. Our last rate look at the trip handicapping. That's an absolutely perfectly balanced race. 3 on the front, 3 in the middle, 3 in the back. And the beginning of those front 3, Chasing Stardom, looks like it's the quickest. The 4 and the 9, they're down here. So maybe their false speed could make it that the pressure horses and the closers outdo them. But not only does Chasing Stardom have the most early speed, another one of those horses with the most late speed. Can't pass what you can't catch, although Afraid of the Bunny, something my dog is, that one's going to be right behind it. And then our top total pace horse, we got a couple of them in here. The 2 and the 3, Chasing Stardom, and Afraid of the Bunny, a little bit better than the 6 and the 7. Those 4, again, most likely to produce your winner by about 72% of the time. And those are the first 2 that we have, Terry.
That's right. I like number 3, Chasing Stardom, finished in the money in the last 9 starts, finishing 3rd versus similar in the last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then Afraid of the Bunny, as your dog is. The number 2 is my horse that my second choice. He ran second versus similar in his last race. He has the highest last race speed rating. He's tied with another. He also has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I feel lucky tonight. The 7 finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Ira the Icon, the 9 is my long shot, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and he switches to high percentage winning trainer. That's it for me.
I'm going to go with the 2 horse Afraid of the Bunny, Terry. Like little kids at Easter, right? When that big ass bunny comes out and then what is that? And that's nothing like the cartoon. But you have Jamie Ness You have Miguel Sanchez. Those two are dynamic duo at the Ben Salem track. And this horse has a really good chance to be better in its second start after a long layoff. If there is any improvement out of Afraid of the Bunny for trainer Jamie Ness, she could run away with this race. Number 3, Chasing Stardom. Very consistent horse of late, Terry. There was some, you see here, late regression in that last race, last time out. You see here on our sheet, you see the horse kind of tailed off at the end of the race there, although the late pace number was a little bit better, still kind of, despite running a little bit slower early on. And you have a trio of peak numbers in a row. That was my concern and why I didn't put that one up front. A triple peak speed number does concern me about the potential today for a big drop off. Hopefully not. Hopefully it makes it to the 5th race before that. The one horse, Villanito, the one horse, upped its speed figure in the 3 races since its debut. Did run some better fractions last time out, and that was at 6.5 furlongs versus the 6 furlong race in the start before that. So if you run faster and longer, that's doubly fast. And then finally, Hot Love. That horse, Terry, is the only class dropper in this race and has shown in the past that it has the potential to hit the par speed figure to win at this level. So 2, 3, 1, and 6 for me. Those are all of our picks for today, Terry. Race number 1 and 2 are in the books. And then who won? The 6 horse won the first race, right? Something we didn't have. And then the 5 horse. So maybe pay attention to either what we don't have or the horses at the back of our picks today. Hopefully we can change that. Any final thoughts from you before we get to working on Delaware Park for all of our Turkish friends tomorrow?
Well, I'm just hoping everybody's going to have a good rest of the week, and I'm having a good time doing this. Oh, there's Christopher D'Souza. Hi, Christopher. He likes the number 4 in the 10th race. And then just be careful and safe and let your loved ones know how you feel about it.
Yes, I want to say thank you wholeheartedly to Jimmy Little, Ruben Hernandez, L1 Redwood Farm, Rick Harper, Vimal Periema, I can't see, Yasin Balalina for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you're in agreement with them, kindly give us a thumbs up wherever you are. Again, a follow on all of our social sites down there below. Our Sean did a tremendous job during the Preakness week when he was down there at Pimlico posting some exclusive content up there. We're going to do more and more of that as we get more and more access. The bigger we grow, the more access we're going to get. So help us do that. The more access we get, the more information that we can bring to you. So it's like digging a hole in the sand, right? It all benefits everybody else. All right, folks, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this terrific Terry Tuesday, we certainly hope that all your endeavors, your dreams, your goals are all blessed with God's grace and God's favor, and every single thing that you do, Terry, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, we'll see you for Hump Day with Hollywood Hay tomorrow at Delaware Park.